John Charles Carter in Wilmette, Illinois to Lilla and Russell Whitford, Carter 1896 to 1966, a sawmill operator. Many sources indicate he was born in Evanston, Illinois. Heston's autobiography stated otherwise. Heston said in a 1995 interview that he was not very good at remembering addresses or his early childhood. Heston was partially of Scottish descent, including from the clan Fraser, but the majority of his ancestry was English. His earliest colonial ancestors arrived in America from England in the 1600s. His maternal great-grandparents and namesakes were Englishman William Charlton from Sunderland and Scotswoman Mary Drysdale Charlton. They emigrated to Canada, where his grandmother Marian Emily Charlton was born in 1872. In his autobiography, Heston refers to his father participating in his family's construction business. When Heston was an infant, his father's work moved the family to St. Helens, Michigan. It was a rural, heavily forested part of the state, and Heston lived an isolated yet idyllic existence, spending much time hunting and fishing in the backwoods of the area. When Heston was 10 years old, his parents divorced after having 3 children. Shortly thereafter, his mother remarried, and Charlton, with his younger sister Lilla and younger brother Alan, next moved to Wilmette, Illinois. Heston and his 2 siblings took the surname of his mother. The new children attended New Trier High School, which would become the high school also for the movie star Rock Hudson and Anne Margaret. He recalled living there. All kids play pretend games, but I did it more than most. Even when we moved to Chicago, I was more or less a loner. We lived in a North Shore suburb where I was a skinny hick from the woods, and all the other kids seemed to be rich and know about girls. Contradictions on paper and in an interview surround with Charlton became Heston's first name. The 1930 United States Census record for Richfield, Michigan, in Roscommon County shows his name as being Charlton J. Carter at age 6. Later accounts and movie studio biographies say he was born John Charles Carter. When Russell Carter died in 1966, Charlton's brother and sister changed their surname from Carter to Heston the following year. Charlton did not. Charlton was his maternal grandmother's Marian's maiden name, not his mother Lilla's. This is contrary to how 20th century references read and what Heston said. When Heston's maternal grandmother and his true maternal grandfather Charles Baines separated or divorced in the early 1900s, Marian Baines married William Henry Lott in 1907. Charlton Heston's mother Lilla and her sister May were adopted by their grandfather and changed their last name to Charlton in order to distance themselves from their biological father, Mr. Baines, who was an undesirable father figure. The Carter divorced in 1933 and Lilla Carter married Chester Heston. The newly married Mrs. Heston preferred her children use the same last name as hers. It was thus as Charlton Heston that he appeared in his first film with younger brother Alan Carter, Small Road, an adaptation of Henrik Ibsen's Peer Gynt, 1941. His nickname was also Chuck. Heston was an Episcopalian and has been described as a spiritual man with an earthy flair who respected religious traditions and particularly enjoyed the historical aspects of the Christian faith. Heston frequently recounted that while growing up in northern Michigan in a sparsely populated area, he often wandered in the forest acting our characters from books he had read. Later in high school, he enrolled in New Trier's drama program, playing the lead role in the amateur silent 16mm film adaptation of Peer Gynt from the Ibsen play by future film activist David Bradley, released in 1941. From the Winnetka Community Theatre, or the Winnetka Dramatist Guild as it was then known, in which he was active, he earned a drama scholarship to Northwestern University. He attended college from 1941 to 1943, and among his acting teachers was Elvina Cross. Several years later, Heston teamed up with Bradley to produce the first sound version of William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, in which Heston played Mark Antony. In 1996, Heston had a hip replacement. He was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1998. Following a course of radiation treatment, the cancer went into remission. In 2000, he publicly disclosed that he had been treated for alcoholism at a Utah clinic in May-June of that year. On August 9, 2002, he publicly announced via a taped message that he had been diagnosed with symptoms consistent with Alzheimer's disease. In July 2003, in his final public appearance, Heston received the Presidential Medal of Freedom at the White House from President George W. Bush. In March 2005, various newspapers reported that family and friends were shocked by the progression of his illness and that he was sometime unable to get out of bed. Heston died on the morning of April 5, 2005 at his home in Beverly Hills, California, with Lydia, his wife of 64 years, by his side. He was also survived by their son Fraser Clark Heston and daughter Holly Ann Heston. The cause of death was not disclosed by the family. A month later, media outlets reported his death was due to pneumonia. Early tributes came in from leading figures. President George W. Bush called Heston a man of character and integrity with a big heart. He served his country during World War II, marched in the civil rights movement, led a labor union, and vigorously defended defended American Second Amendment rights. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan said that she was heartbroken over Heston's death and released a statement reading, "I will never forget Chuck as a hero on the big screen in the roles he played, but more importantly, I considered him a hero in life for the many times that he stepped up to support Ronnie in whatever he was doing." Heston's funeral was held a week later on April 12, 2008 in a ceremony which was attended by 250 people including Nancy Reagan and Hollywood stars such as California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, Olivia de Havilland, Keith Carradine, Pat Boone, Tom Selleck, Oliver Stone, who had cast Heston in his 1999 movie Any Given Sunday, Bob Rayner and Kristen Ball. The funeral was held of St. Matthew's Church in Pacific Palisades, the church where Heston had regularly worshipped and attended Sunday services since the early 1980s. He was cremated and his ashes were given to his family. Thanks for watching everyone. Please like, share, comment and subscribe.